Hey, what's up you guys? This is Gabby. I'm back with another video, and what are we going to talk about on today? So in this video, I am going to visit a topic that I brought up a few months ago, which was all about finding your niche within social work and the social impact space. Instead of talking about how to find your niche in this video, I want to go back and I want to rewind it a little bit and talk about why it even matters and what's so important about finding your niche. Why is this even something you should care about? So if you're interested in that, then stay tuned for this video. Okay, so first off, what the heck is a social work niche anyway? So a social work niche is basically the area that you are focusing on and deciding to put the majority of your energy and your time into. What area of social work do you really care about the most? How do you really want to help move society forward? What is that social cause that keeps you up at night? Whatever that is your social work niche. Social workers aren't the only professionals that need to worry about finding their niche. All professionals have to find their niche. When you think about, let's say, a medical doctor, most likely they're not going to be able to specialize in any and everything. One doctor may be very amazing with helping women with their overall health and during pregnancy. That professional specialty is going to be OBGYN related, right? And then you have other doctors who they kind of know about women's health, but they really want to help children and they specialize in the overall well-being of children. That person's niche is probably going to be pediatrics. So as professionals, it's impossible for us to learn every single thing there is to learn about our specific profession. It's just not possible. We don't have enough time in the day. We don't have enough brain capacity. So instead of trying to focus your energy on learning every single thing there is to learn about social work or trying to become an expert on every social issue, maybe you right now are in your beginning stages of studying social work and you feel overwhelmed because you think you have to know everything about therapy, about community health, program development, about working with youth, working with adults, working with the elderly, all of these things. Of course, in your classes, you're going to learn generally about all of these things, but no one is asking you to become an expert on this. It's just not possible. So instead, what you should be thinking about and what you should be trying to do is finding out what area you want to ultimately be a specialist in. What do you want to be your niche? And of course, we don't find our niche overnight. It's going to take a lot of trial and error. It's going to take you volunteering, doing different internship opportunities, having informational interviews with other social workers and other people in the social impact space, talking to your professors about what their niche is and what research they specialize in. All of this is going to help you to get a clear understanding of what you want your niche to be. And also another thing you need to do is really do some soul searching and dig deep to try to figure out who you are and what specifically brought you to the field of social work. You could have studied anything you wanted. Why social work? Often what I find is that people who focus on social work do it because they have a special calling. They have a purpose. They're in this field for a reason. And often it can tie back to something they went through, whether it be childhood or earlier in life, some type of experience they went through or something they witnessed. I'll give myself for an example. One of my focus areas, I would say, is youth development. Within every job that I've done, if I look at the different nonprofits that I'm on committees or boards for, it has all tied back to youth development in some type of shape, form, or fashion. And why do I care about this? It's because when I was growing up, I lived in a very working class neighborhood. I lived in an urban community and I witnessed people in my community and myself in my early years not getting access to the same opportunities of people who lived in better or upper middle class neighborhoods. They were given certain opportunities and they had certain experiences that I was not able to access simply because of my zip code. And later on, I ended up being transferred to a school that was out of my neighborhood. and it was completely different from the experience I had before. My opportunity and access widened. And that really, even at a young age, it made me feel very bad for the people who didn't have the opportunity to go to a different school out of the neighborhood. That type of experience made me passionate about wanting to reach back and help youth who grew up in a similar type of neighborhood as I did when I was a kid. So really think back to those earlier experiences, those pivotal moments that changed you as a person. Or think back on certain social issues you yourself experienced or someone you care about experienced that really nags at your soul and pulls at you. Often that is going to be the area you want to be your niche. Really think about what pulled you to social work and what your calling really is. It may take a while to figure this out. It doesn't happen overnight. Experience and really doing that reflective work is going to be important and help you to better define your niche. Okay, so why should you even care about defining your niche in the first place? So one reason you need to care is because it's going to help you to become an expert. You remember how earlier I talked about doctors and how they all have a certain area of expertise. Having an area of expertise makes you more marketable, it makes you stand out from the crowd, and it's going to give you more value in the marketplace when it comes to you finding a job or a career after you graduate. If you come out of the gate and you didn't really work to try to cultivate or build some type of niche for yourself, you're going to be looked at as a general social worker. And honestly, this is not really a problem within the first few years of graduating, because a lot of us graduate with no specific area of expertise. Some of us are able to find our area of expertise within grad school or within college, especially if we had some experience working before, but often we won't. And that is why it's a little bit more challenging to find your first job out of school. But once you really get that experience and that expertise, you're gonna find over time that you'll get roles easier and easier, and it's gonna be less difficult to sell yourself, because people are gonna see from your prior experience what your area of expertise is. And for anyone who needs that specific skill set or whatever you have an expertise in, they're going to want to have a conversation with you specifically about applying for this particular role, because not just anyone can do that role. The first reason you need to find your niche is so it can be easier for you to sell yourself and attract future employers. Or if you're a social worker who wants to have your own small business or your own consultancy to attract the right clients. Of course, it's good for you to know about a lot of different areas generally, but you don't want to be a jack of all trades. You want to be someone who knows a little bit about this, a little bit about that, but who has a certain area that they really have a wealth full of knowledge in. All right, so another reason you want to find your niche is because it gives you direction. I remember the days when I was in grad school and I didn't know what was next for me. I didn't know what type of job I wanted. I didn't know what type of internship experiences I wanted. I remember when it came to my second year choosing an internship, I made the decision not due to what I wanted to focus on because I didn't know at the time, but due to what name I thought would ring a bell and look better on my resume. Thinking back on it, I don't think that was the worst idea because I was newer in the field and I didn't really have a lot of experience on my resume. Having a name on my resume, which was the Chicago government, I knew was going to hold more weight than maybe a name that people wouldn't recognize. I wanted people to look at my resume and say, oh, I know this place, it's legitimate, I know she got good experience. Even though I don't think it was bad for me to choose a place that was well known, I think I could have made a better decision if I also went into making that decision knowing what I wanted my niche to be. Then I could have chosen an organization that's well known and within my niche. It would have given me more direction, but I didn't really have directions. So it was kind of pulling a name out of a hat. I remember my advisor was asking me, what type of internship I wanted and asking me to really describe it for her, and I couldn't really do it that well. So let's say I let years and years go by without trying to find and discover a niche. I would have had that same type of approach when looking for jobs. So I think me really narrowing down on my niche helped me to have more focus as I'm looking for future opportunities for myself. All right, and that goes into my third reason that I think you should be working on finding your niche, and that is because it helps other people to support you better. I always talk about how important it is to build your network, have a network of individuals who can advocate for you and be in your corner to connect you to certain opportunities. If you have a niche, that helps you to better define and describe to your network what type of opportunities you're looking for. And that way they can come back and actually try to connect you to those opportunities. But if they're asking you, oh, what do you want to do after you graduate? Or what type of job are you currently looking for? If you don't have a clear answer, it's going to be harder for them to support you and actually give you what you want, because you don't even know what you want and you don't know how to talk about what you want. So the sooner you can find your niche, the easier it will be for you to lay out what type of jobs you want or what type of population you would like to work with for your supporters so that they can potentially connect you with those type of opportunities. Okay, so the last reason I want to share in this video, there are other reasons, but the last reason is because it's going to help you to feel more connected to your classes. Thinking back on undergrad and graduate school, I remember those days when I was just burned out. I was tired, especially my last year of undergrad and graduate school. It was a little bit challenging for me to keep the momentum, to keep the excitement. But one thing that can really help you with feeling more connected to your coursework is having a niche, because the information that you're learning is not going to be random. It's information that can specifically help you with the population you're most interested in or the cause that you're most interested in. You're going to know how to tie in the information you're learning in class or at your internship to your future career goals. So it's not going to be a bunch of random information coming to you. You're going to be able to clearly compartmentalize it in a way that's best for you and your future. And you'll be able to better tie it into whatever you're interested in. And you'll also be able to choose your classes more wisely too. You won't choose your electives at random, but you'll choose it based on what skills you need to better help the population that is in your niche or to better support the cause that is a part of your niche. Wouldn't that be awesome? So as I mentioned, finding your niche does not happen overnight. It's going to take time. If you haven't found your niche yet, don't feel guilty about it. Just make sure that's something that you're working on and something that you're keeping in the back of your head as you're taking certain classes. Think about what you're most interested in and what you enjoy the most. Talk to people, see what they do. And maybe when you talk to people, you'll be like, what they're doing sounds really boring. Oftentimes, finding out what you don't want to do is the first step to finding out what you do want to do, because it's, process of elimination. And finding your niche doesn't mean that you don't have to care about any other population or any other cause. Let's say you ultimately figure out that your niche is providing therapy for teenage women. That doesn't mean that you can't advocate on behalf of children's rights or police brutality. It doesn't mean you never have to care about other issues. It just means that you're putting most of your time and energy into whatever your niche is. And also, it helps you because you don't feel like you have to be an expert in all these other areas. You can instead refer to the experts and shine spotlight on the voices of the experts of those causes that you care about but have not chosen for your niche. So I hope this video was helpful for you, and I hope it gave you some motivation to start trying to discover what your area of social work will be, the area that you feel the most passionate about or put towards the most. And in the comment section, if you have found your niche, let me know below. And if you're kind of struggling between a few niches, you can drop that down below as well, and maybe we can get a conversation started. Who knows? Possibly someone who already is working in the niche that you're kind of interested in or on the fence about could comment and let you know what their experience is in that area. So I'm really hoping that my videos can be a source of community for people and to really help individuals to find further success in their careers. And also, if you're really interested in finding your niche, sooner rather than later. I am a career coach, and one of the areas I love the most is helping people to find the area of social work they're most passionate about, and also helping them to develop a career plan around next steps for actually working and thriving within that niche. So if you would be interested in working with me around that service, I would love to chat with you more. Definitely go to my website and reach out. This is something I love to do. I just love when I'm working with clients and they come to me super unclear. And then after we work together, I can just see the clarity and hear the clarity within them. That really does give me a lot of joy. But on that note, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was insightful, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Chat with you soon. Bye-bye.